Freddy is expected to continue slowly tracking northwestward along the northeastern side of the steering ridge through the next 2 days. The system will maintain a track speed of roughly 5 knots through landfall, as the near-equatorial ridge to the northeast competes for dominance in the steering flow. Freddy is expected to make landfall along the coast of Mozambique in around 2 days before moving slowly inland and dissipating. In the near term, southerly mid-level shear and continued dry air intrusion will keep a lid on intensification, and it is likely to even weaken a bit more over the first 12 hours of the forecast. After 24 hours, however, conditions are expected to improve, with the atmosphere moistening up and the mid-level shear dropping off to more reasonable and supportive levels. At the same time, the system will begin moving over an area of enhanced ocean heat content which lies just offshore of Mozambique. The only cap on intensification will be the relatively limited outflow, with development of a poleward or equatorward channel not expected. The system is expected to reach peak intensity of 140 km per hour, 75 knots, immediately prior to landfall. Once ashore, the system will rapidly weaken and dissipation below warning criteria is expected in 4 days. With the exception of the GFS deterministic tracker, which will be discussed in the alternate scenario below, track guidance is in good agreement on northwestward track, though there are significant along-track differences between the consensus members. The along-track spread begins to emerge as early as the next 24 hours, with the European models, ECMUF, ICSENS, ACMET, far outracing the American models, GFS, GEFS, HWRF, and VGM, and this trend continues and grows larger through the forecast period. So while confidence in the direction of movement is high, the enhanced along-track spread leads to low confidence in the overall track forecast. Intensity guidance is mixed, with all models showing a trend line that basically conforms with the JTWC forecast, with the notable exception of both versions of COAMPS-DC, which show significantly more intensification, to a peak of 185 km per hour, 100 knots, in 2 days. The JTWC forecast lies about 5 knots above the consensus mean through landfall, then slightly below the mean thereafter with medium confidence. As mentioned above, the GFS and to a lesser extent the GEFS ensemble continue to show an alternate track scenario for Freddy, which after making a run towards the coast, touching a toe on land in around 3 days, then makes a U-turn, and moving back out to sea in 5 days. Analysis of the upper-level steering pattern shows that the GFS breaks down the subtropical ridge to the southwest while building the near-equatorial ridge to the northeast as the system makes landfall, and thus the steering pattern shifts to the near-equatorial ridge. This is directly opposite of the ECMUF solution. The GFS has been showing variations of this theme for several runs and thus cannot be fully discounted, even though it is so far the only model that shows this solution. Maximum significant wave height is 7.6 meters, 25 feet.